It's time to talk tourism, and as you know, we always love to find out what's happening in the tourism world in terms of trends. And I am so thrilled to bring on our next guest right next to me. Check him out, the man, Dave Reid, joining us for the first time here on Spotlight on Florida. And when I want to know what's happening in the world of tourism, restaurants, hotels, everything, this is the guy I call. And Dave, it's great to have you on Spotlight on Florida with us here.
Great to be here, Joel. Thank you.
Listen, you are a restaurant legend, guru. I don't know. I mean, I could go on with words forever on it, but I got to tell you. So, first of all, I know Ale House, you were there for many years, but you've done so much else on a national level here in the state. Run through it real quick for me and tell me the history.
Sure. Well, it's all I've ever done. I started washing dishes when I was 15 and never looked back. Went over and when I was 18, 19 to the nightclub thing in Atlanta, grew up in Atlanta, and then moved here to Florida in the mid 80s, went all the way down to Fort Lauderdale, opened up a bartending school, worked in Miami, lived in Fort Lauderdale, and I've lived basically the entire state. Right now I live close to you, Joel, but I'm actually closer to Georgia, Thomasville, Georgia, than I am to Tallahassee.
I know that.
I've traveled the entire distance, and got to travel all through this fantastic state, and always work in hospitality. I did work in a resort in Fort Lauderdale, Pier 66. I was general manager of F&B by the entrances of the Intercoastal while the mega yachts come. So I've been pretty connected to tourism and all around Florida most of my life, and love it. I think we have. For tourism, I think we have the best governor in the nation. Just actually got to meet with him last week. He was signing a bill to help out restaurants and people stealing reservations. He always is looking out for hotels and restaurants and tourism, and the numbers are really proving in his tenure. The number of tourists just continue to go up. Coincidentally, last weekend, I believe it was, Governor DeSantis was at the boat show. I believe it's the one at Bahia Mar in Fort Lauderdale, and he announced the tourism numbers for last year, and they were right at 143 million people, and that's up from 140, with 91% of those people coming from out of state. So it just shows how valuable tourism is to this state and what it means. And he's a great governor that opened it up during COVID when others didn't. At that time in my life, I was leaving Tallahassee and flying out to Los Angeles, and I was there for a year and a half. And I just told DeSantis this last week in his office, and what a pleasure it was to leave here Monday morning at 6 a.m. and get back on Friday night or Saturday and see the parallel difference in what was going on in this state just a couple of months into COVID versus California, that everything was shut down. I drove by UCLA, USC, Disneyland every day, closed for over right at a year. And I come here and everything's back. Basically full blown, masks are off, and so very, very thankful for the governor that we have, and the hotel industry and restaurants are connected. Now, Florida obviously, is blessed with fantastic weather. I was in my swimming pool last night.
Let me ask you this real quick before we move on, because the numbers are incredible. That's a huge number. Yeah. I mean, and it's unbelievable what we do here in the state, and that's before Memorial Day. We just went through the Memorial Day holiday. It's going to be huge this month, I know. I was down at Santa Rosa Beach, and earlier in the show, we had some highlights from the Santa Rosa Beach. We talked to some people on the beach. I mean, people are here from everywhere, all the surrounding states, and as far as Arkansas, I mean, it's unbelievable. So the number's going to be huge from that.
If your viewers have never been to Santa Rosa or that 30A, I tell you what, don't go. But no, I'm kidding. That is the prettiest beach and water probably in the United States, in my opinion. I actually lived down there for a while, opening up restaurants, and it's just unbelievable. I mean, and you're right, people come from all over. Right now, they're just beginning their 99 days of summer, where just like so many people come in and all the hotels are booked. My wife does marketing with a great agency called Miles Media, and she oversees the marketing for the Sandestin Hilton, the St. Joe properties, up there, and they're just fabulous. So if you're interested in going to a beautiful beach, eating in great restaurants, come anywhere in Florida, but that area that you were just in is fantastic. And you just sat.
Yeah.
I saw one of your shows. You just sat with the head of AAA talking about how much Memorial Day was going to be up, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They said it was going to set records. I'm pretty sure it did. And look, and you're watching our shows already. This is great. It's everyone in the tourism industry is watching, so we love this. This is awesome. Listen, I want to talk about some of these trends because you know what's happening. Definitely hotels and restaurants. Let's start with hotels. Tell me what you're looking at.
Well, I think that they're getting more competitive. The way hotels work have changed with larger lobbies, nicer restaurants, keyless entry into your room. Making a big deal about the gyms. I mean, when I go stay in a hotel, which I am in a week, going up to Virginia, one of the most important things to me is that they have a good breakfast and they have a good gym, and obviously everything's comfortable, and then the affordability. I think I've given these speeches with millennials. I think millennials are responsible in a great way of changing the way hotels were. I mean, I've been traveling for years all over the United States, and I used to stay in a level like Marriott Courtyard, and you're talking about no food and a bed, a bathroom, and a TV. And now for generally the same money, you can find where there's 2 rooms, there's a sitting area, TV. It's almost like you've got your little mini apartment. So I think the faces have changed.
And you think that has something to do with millennials? You think?
Oh, I really do. I mean, when I gave these speeches, I gave it with the Restaurant Association. I think I did 4 or 5 of them. I didn't, all I did was research the data, and a lot of it can be found on whitehouse.org. And there are real set characteristics that millennials have, and I'm sure that other generations, including mine, have, and how they see the world and how they see work and how they see travel. For instance, when it comes to travel, the average millennial will stay at least 3 days before or after where they're going on business travel. And all the travel that I've done, I'm like, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I enjoy that I was, down in the Keys or, wherever I was in Orlando, and go to a theme park? And, that's another thing with Florida travel. As you know, they just opened up 3 new Universal parks. So this state just continues to rock and roll.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so I kind of jumped in, I interrupted you, but on the hotel front, in terms of trends, what else are you looking at?
I think that's about all I can think of right now. They're just trying to appeal to as many people as they can, offer up great amenities in golf, wedding packages, beach getaways. You go in the Keys, and they will definitely hook you up to go fishing, go scuba diving, a lot of activity stuff that's going on.
Everyone's selling this whole the experiences now. It's
the experience, yeah.
That's really.
You just don't want to go somewhere and lie by the pool. I mean, not that that's a horrible thing, but
I know. I like it.
You take the cruising industry. I can remember before I went on my first cruise, I really didn't want to go because I thought like your day would be regimented over whatever they were doing. And those of you that have been on a cruise, they slide that little thing under your door at night with all the choices of all the activities that you can do on that boat. You could sit in your room all day, on your balcony all day, go by the pool all day, or you can go do 15 things. If you go into a port of call, there's 15 excursions you can go on. So yeah, I think that another part of your point, adventure traveling. That it's more than just going to a city, but it's doing an adventure, almost like a little mini Africa, kind of thing. My wife actually oversees a group that does little hotels, little quaint hotels, and just a more personalized service. But even staying at some of the nicest hotels. Once I stayed at the Ritz-Carlton over in Amelia Island, which you and I have done meetings there before, and it was so personalized for like knowing my name when I pulled up, and the front desk person calling you by your name, and so from small to large, I think just like in restaurants, having that personalized service From the TV show Cheers, everybody wants to go where somebody knows their name. And it's true.
True.
I want you to come
like
see
that.
me in a restaurant and say, I want to go see Dave tonight.
Yeah.
Go get a steak.
I like that you keep throwing your wife in there too, and you're mentioning her. I mean, I know your wife. She is a big talent and knows everything in marketing, hotel world, everything. So she is amazing. We'll have to have her on here at some point too.
Yeah, no, she is obviously, I'm prejudiced towards her, but she is a wizard with websites, and I actually used Miles Media before her and I even dated, and I had trouble. I was in charge of marketing at Miller's Ale House, and I had trouble with hits on our website in certain markets, and they could just buy Google words that would get people to come to your restaurant, and they do that with hotels. You Google something like what's a great beach wedding resort and hotel, and one of their hotels is going to appear in the above the fold, as they say in Google. And they did it for me at Miller's Ale House, where we had trouble, let's say, in Ocala, and suddenly they worked their magic. I wasn't quite sure what they did, and then they put the words behind our website, John Travolta's house, because John Travolta lives in Ocala, and suddenly they would come to our website after looking at John Travolta's house. But anyway, they're really good.
Okay, so Dave, now we're gonna wrap this up. We only have a few minutes left, but we got to get to restaurants. This is your thing, my man.
Yeah.
Tell me what's going on in the world of restaurants.
Well, the national trends say, Nation's Restaurant News says that sustainability is big. Making sure that you're environmentally friendly, having unique events, not just to go out to dinner. Maybe it's live music. Tech is big. Social media is really big. Doing third party. There's no choice now. You've got to go DoorDash. You got to go Uber Eats, and a lot of global flavors, authentic, healthy. Steak and Shake, little Steak and Shake just brought in beef tallow as their oil, as a healthy, fatty oil, and they had RFK and Hannity there eating a cheeseburger and fries and a
really, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was great. What a multi-million-dollar free commercial they got, and they shot it at Steak and Shake here in Florida somewhere. I think South Florida, lunch is big. Speed of service is always big, and then always value. You look at how well some old chains like Chili's are doing right now. It's all around value, that you can go get a meal and you look at your bill and you're spending about like you do at Chick-fil-A. Now, Chick-fil-A, though, that's the example that you use for where do you go where there's always great service. But it is getting expensive. Man and wife go get a couple of Chick-fil-A's and a split of French fry and both a drink. It's getting up there, and so to be able to go sit down at a Chili's, or I think Applebee's is doing a good job with these old chains. You always find good repeat business with value. Can't lose with that, and that's about what I see out there in the restaurant world.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, those old chains, the established chains, whatever you're going to call them. They seem to be still bringing the people in. And
I think who's coming back. Ruby Tuesdays is coming back.
Oh yeah,
they're making a lot.
Awesome.
That's a legacy brand, and they are on their way back. Keep an eye on.
I don't know what the numbers are, but we've got to have. We got to be the biggest state in terms of locations for all these restaurants.
Yeah, I think. Oh yeah. I would agree with you completely. Yeah,
that's amazing. I can't believe it, man. What a great time. This is awesome to have Dave Reid on here, man. I know you know everything about this stuff. We want to have you on more often. I mean, you're so good at this too. You had something to do with TV or something, radio? What did you do in your past?
Broadcasting. I did some radio, and I've done some voiceovers. Yeah, I did. Voiceover is really competitive, especially during COVID. During COVID, a lot of people got into voiceovers. But I have my own little home studio and microphone and stuff. And it was hard to get a gig. You got to join these services. And I only got one paying gig, and it was the voice of Motorola Security. But it was fun. It was, like when you audition, they ask you to do like Southern accent, or northern accent. Hey, you guys,
Yeah.
and it's really cool. But there's some great talent out there. I took a voiceover lessons at this place in Orlando, and the guy that gave it brought in this girl that had also attended his class, and she was a voice on a video game called like Tetra or something like that, and she did this one voice. And they're doing more, and she'd already made $150,000 doing voiceover.
What?
Going into a studio and doing voiceover. She had like this squeaky voice, playing some character, and she did the voice for us. And her normal voice didn't sound anything like that. But anyway, well, I appreciate you having me on, Joel.
I think you look good too. Radio, you just get your voice, but look, you look like you could be on TV. We need to have you on more often. We need to do this on a regular basis. Or you know what we really need to do? We need to give you a show on Spotlight on Florida, because you know everybody in this industry, you know everything about it. So we need to start a Dave Reid show. What do you think?
Let's do it. Call my agent. Let's do it. Love it. I love it. I love tourism. Love you. Let's do it. Let's go visit some people and let them show us their stuff. There's some great people in the state.
I like it. This is going to be a day we're going to remember forever. I can't wait. All right, I'm going to talk to you about that. All right, folks, we're all out of time. It's going to wrap it up for this episode of Spotlight on Florida. Dave Reid, thanks for joining us for the interview. We appreciate you, and that's going to wrap it up. We will see you on our next episode.
God bless.
Be sure to join us next time for more exciting updates from Florida's tourism industry, and follow us on social media to stay up to date throughout the week. For now, I'm Joel Silver in the Spotlight on Florida studios. We'll see you next time.